Good evening and welcome to April 2nd, 2025. We are here for the special City Commission meeting. It is Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025, and I'd like to call the meeting to order. And also, I had my eyes dilated this afternoon, so I'm trying to, I don't think we can dim these. So I'm not trying to be cool, even though I am. That's what I'm doing with the glasses, so I apologize. I'll try to get them off before the regular meeting. So would you do the roll call, please?
Commissioner Mike Mitchell.
Here.
Commissioner Scott Wilson.
Here.
Commissioner Rocky Smith.
Here.
Commissioner Adam Marl.
Here.
Mayor Denise McGriff.
Present. All right, so under general business tonight, we have item A, which is city-sponsored public events proposals, and we are going to be reviewing those, and we have Mr. Graham over to my right, who's going to lead us off.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners, Mayor, and I'm James Graham, Economic Development Manager for the city. And tonight we have three applications for under the city-sponsored public event program. The total request of all three together is $36,000. And so this is round one. Round two actually opened on the 27th of March and will close on the 26th of May. So round two is actually open now to receive applications, but this is for round one. So our first applicant tonight is First City Celebration, and Juliana Allen will be presenting her application on behalf of DOCA.
Does she have her two assistants here with her this evening? Or just one assistant?
DOCA is requesting $12,000 for the First City Celebration, which is scheduled for July 26th, 2025.
Hi, Juliana Allen, Happy Valley, Oregon. Everett and Hendrick Allen, also Happy Valley. So I am here as the Executive Director of the Downtown Oregon City Association, and this is the 14th year that the Downtown Association has hosted the First City Celebration. I'm sure you all are aware of what the event is and how much it means to the community. Last year we saw about 60. Is this okay for you guys? Okay. Yes. Last year we saw about 6,500 people attending, and that's based on the elevator counts that our elevator ambassadors take. And this year we expect approximately the same, hopefully a little bit more. It's usually pretty weather dependent. So the things that we are doing this year that are different than the years prior is we are just focusing more on the community activations that we can do in the different areas of the district. So we'll have a kids zone per usual. We'll have a health and wellness area. We'll have a cornhole tournament this year, which I'm very excited about. And we'll also have an area dedicated to more of the historical side of things. We've partnered with the End of the Oregon Trail for some fun things like that. So we are here asking for $12,000 to please help us put this event on for the community. So thank you very much, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
And before you do, staff, as you know, reviewed the application. Just wanted to go over some points here. With regard to staff's review, in 2023, DOCA actually netted $17,410 in revenue over expenses at that point. And then in 2024, the organization indicated that it netted $6,114, which is a 57% decrease from what it projected in 2024. The nonprofit is projecting to make a profit, and that's not a net loss, it's actually a profit for $12,400 this year, so it's projected for 2025. The organization will be charging a vendor's booth fee.
Correct, yep.
And attendance is estimated, as she had mentioned, but they will be estimating it using elevator traffic data from the Oregon Municipal Elevator. Oregon City Municipal Elevator, is that correct?
Yep, I think I said that, yep.
Yep.
Good.
And the other thing we'd like to mention that we are recommending approval of the application conditioned on the event organizer securing all the required permits, which I'm sure they probably have by now. And it is noted that DOCA should also use the city's tourism branding logo or tagline, Oregon's hometown, welcome home. So with that said, we do recommend approval of the application, and over now for questions.
Questions? Go ahead.
I was going to make a motion. Are we doing that after we hear the
After we have questions.
application by application, or when we
Yes.
hear all of them?
Application by application.
Okay.
So I
So-
actually have a question.
Okay. Then I won't talk yet.
Okay, I didn't know if you had a question. You said you
No.
wanted to make a motion, so.
No, I was gonna make a motion.
So my question is regarding engagement. So the End of the Oregon Trail Center is participating. So how has DOCA reached out to the other historic sites to see if they would participate? Because in the past, we've always had a little heritage area, and some of the other organizations they take turns with shifts, so everybody's not there at the same time.
Yeah.
And I know we probably won't have a wagon down there this year, but maybe they will. But that's always an attraction. So if you have not done that, I would strongly recommend that occur, so that everybody that has an interest in that in this community would have an opportunity to get some of their stuff in front of the public.
Yep, I'll speak with Corinne about that as well. In the past, we've had Jack do the majority of that, so we
Yes,
will
and-
adjust.
And he did do that.
Yeah, he did.
Any other questions?
No, this is a signature event for our city. I think this is a terrific investment, so I'll move to approve the $12,000 grant to Downtown Oregon City Association for First City Celebration.
There's been a motion and a second. I will just say for the record that I do serve as the city's representative on the Downtown Association Board, but I don't think that that is going to bias me in voting either in favor or not in favor of this application. It is a signature city event, and prior to the 14 years, as many of you are aware, the city was doing it, and I had the pleasure of, as a staff person, being able to participate in this event and have participated in it every year since, and it's just a great event. It's a signature event, and we have a lot of turnout, and people look forward to it. And we will keep our fingers crossed to make sure that the weather is pleasant, not scorching or boiling, but not pouring down rain either. So let's have roll call, please.
Commissioner Mike Mitchell.
Aye.
Commissioner Scott Wilson.
Aye.
Commissioner Rocky Smith.
Aye.
Commissioner Adam Marl.
Aye.
Mayor Denise McGriff.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
And thank you, boys, for coming and being so well behaved for your mom. He's going, are we done already?
So next up is Oregon City Festival of the Arts, sponsored by the Three Rivers Artists Guild. The program is scheduled for August 9th and 10th, 2025. And they are also asking for $12,000 in grant funding for this event. And I'll let you introduce yourself, and you can go forward.
Kristen, move the
Yeah,
mic
turn on your-
closer to you. It moves.
And turn it on.
And turn it on, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, obviously my first time attending. My name is Kristen Usari. I wear many hats, but tonight is as coordinator of the Oregon City Festival of the Arts as part of the Three Rivers Artists Guild. I brought my notes. So this is the 9th year for the festival, presented by the Guild, again, August 9th and 10th. The event is run totally by volunteers, myself included. And admission is free to the community and all that want to attend. We typically have 55 artists booths, several food trucks, we have music and children's activities. My personal goal, this is my first year as coordinator. I did help last year, but this is the first time on my own. My goal for the festival this year was a greater sense of community. I feel that it's super important, and then knowing that Welcome Home to Oregon City is a part of that community, I think establishes a place as a home. So as a result, I've tried to partner with as many entities as I can possibly get to bend their ear. So with Oregon City Porch Fest, we are partnering with them as one of their stages. So there's some cross promotion in there. Right, we'll promote them and they'll promote us by us having a stage for some of their performers. Soul Flags, again, will have the children's activities under the covered area. Last year, we had about 3,500 visitors over the weekend. We had those as counters, physical counters, just at one entry. I know there's several points of entry, so it could have been more, but at least 3,500. We had one billboard for advertising in town and a banner at the top of Malala, along with some posters that were in the storefront windows, and then social media. But all of that, I think I put in $20 for social media promotion last year, and that was it. The budget submitted includes the grant amount in there. The grant money would mainly go to marketing as well as event visibility. I wanted to get some of the feather flags along the street so people can see that we're open. I wanted maybe to put a banner up over the wagon, checking in on that. Again, more with Oregon City Porch Fest for that cross promotion. Social media, there's some advertisements that I found one on like a Travel Oregon. It was only $225, but again, currently without the grant, I'm working solely with the booth fees that we get and the application fees. So that doesn't allow for a whole lot of promotion. But there's a bunch that I found that are like $225 or $300. So they're minimal amounts for quite a bit of exposure, but without the grant money, I don't think I can do that. I think that's all I have, unless you have questions.
So with regard to staff review, this will be the 9th year for this event. And in 2023, the event netted approximately $3,500. And in 2024, the net revenue was $3,700, approximately so in that year. It is projected, although she's showing a break even, that's because she took the negative, what she projected as a negative, and we had a conversation about you should show the entire grant amount that's requested in your projections. So her first projections, she just didn't include the grant amount, and in her second one, she showed basically a break even. But by our calculations, if she had included the $12,000 in city grants, her projected increase or gain would be a little over $4,000. So she's projected to make something of a small profit, provided that she's able to get all the other sponsors or other projected revenue included in the numbers. So therefore, what we are recommending approval of the grant application conditioned on event organizers securing eligible liability insurance, which is $2,000 for each occurrence, $4,000 general aggregate, designating Oregon City as a certificate holder, and that the organization get all of its necessary permits. Also, the event organizer is required to utilize the tourism brand logo, seal, and tagline, Oregon City's hometown, welcome home.
So this you handed out to, this is for Three Rivers?
Yes.
Okay, because I only figured that out by looking down when I saw a park cleaning fee, and I thought, okay, it wasn't labeled, so. Questions, comments?
So then the park fee, I'm assuming, is the rental of the park space, is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is revised because you added in the other stuff, so this is great, yeah. Have you had any, just because it's your first, I mean, you had your mentor, Ms. Orzen, helping you and the other folks. So have you had any difficulty with anything? You checked in with the city, Patrick Armstrong and the Public Works Department, Police Department?
I haven't, so nobody has told me these things. I've talked with Taylor, I've talked mainly with the Parks Department as well as Cyrus. So I didn't, if there are others to
Yeah, I don't know,
speak with,
do they
please
need,
let me
does
know.
she need to talk to Public Works?
Yeah, you do need to talk to Public Works and Planning. Public Works.
And then there was no difficulty with the liability insurance?
I have that now. I was able to get that from Nancy as well as the business license, although she had them put in the Parks Department instead of the city.
Oh,
So I'll have to have that changed. But I have that here.
perfect,
And-
awesome.
And also she needs, because it's in a park, you need to talk to Parks and Recreation. So it's Parks and Recreation, and maybe Public Works. But that's who you need to talk to in order to make sure you get all the permits you need.
Yeah, so I've talked with the Parks and Rec
She
as well a
got the
few
time.
times, and I talked
Okay.
with Taylor just earlier this week.
Have they submitted a permit?
He's gonna ask for me. He said he'll get me some more details.
Okay.
But yeah, any guidance would be appreciated.
Have to figure out where it is. It's supposed to be on here already. Great. Michael, Adam? Okay. Next step is to make a motion. You guys are so slow on the motions. I know
Okay,
you already did
I
one.
will move to approve $12,000 to Three Rivers Artists Guild for the Festival of the Arts.
Second.
Commissioner Mike Mitchell,
Aye.
Commissioner Scott Wilson,
Aye.
Commissioner Rocky Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Adam Marl,
Aye.
Mayor Denise McGriff.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Looking forward to seeing you in August, if not before.
Yes.
And then next up is the Oregon City Car Show 2025. The applicant is Oregon City Car Show LLC. This is the ninth event, this is the second annual Oregon City Car Show. And here to present, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Good evening. My name is Cyrus. I'm the representative of the Oregon City Car Show, and I'm a resident and business owner here in Oregon City. This is going to be the second year for the Oregon City Car Show, being held May 24th, Memorial Day weekend on Saturday, down in Oregon City's Trestle District. Last year, we anticipated getting 1,000 guests. We ended up getting about 3,000 people to come out to the show. The event was a great success last year. Starting up an old event that had died off during COVID, there wasn't a lot of information, and we kind of started it up from nothing. And this year, we've already had folks that are calling us, requesting information about signing up. We've already got a lot of excitement in the community. We've also got some other folks in the community who are volunteering to help assist with, we're doing fundraising and organization, so our team has grown. Oregon City Car Show was meant to be a bookend to start the summer off, be an easy to attend event, something that's free for the community, and it doesn't impact the local businesses. The Trestle District has some great stuff going on down there, and we wanted to highlight that area of town without impacting it by bringing in additional vendors, which has caused financial burden that most events are able to, they sell beer and they have food carts there, and we already had all that stuff down there. So our event, being a family-friendly, free to the community event, doesn't have that kind of revenue coming in. We're asking for assistance from the city for that, in that regard, to help us with our budget and to be able to help make sure that the car show can continue. We want to grow every year, and it looks like this year it's going to be another great success for the city.
So what do you have yet to complete?
In what regards?
Insurance, police department?
We have our application submitted to the city. We have a couple of revisions that we need to make. We already have insurance, right? We're waiting for information on the addendums on the insurance to be able to reissue those for the city. There are a couple of requirements for, signage and things like that. We need to get specific verbiage from the city on. Then we also have things like our business licenses. Those get renewed every year, and we have to wait till the appropriate time to renew those for this year. But everything is already in the works, so everything's in a certain timetable to be able to be issued at the appropriate time.
In terms of staff review, the organization in 2024, it had projected a loss of a little over $4,000. And in 2024, based on the numbers given to me, they actually lost a little over $5,000. And it's projected in 2025 to have a small net loss of $1,000. But the issue here is that there are still sponsors that have to be brought on board, and then there are costs that are not reflected in the budget that has to be included. For instance, the police very well may charge for their assistance at different levels, and that's not in the budget. Also, some certified flag people will have to be identified. I don't know whether or not they probably will charge as well. There's also some charges relative to the parking spaces that the organizer will need in order to secure the location, and those costs are not included in the budget either. So there are a number of items that have to be included in the financials. What we're looking at is some options that you have before you, because there is some concern about the financial wherewithal of the event, in that it's going to be happening so soon. And so a lot of work has to be done in order to identify to bring in the sponsors to the program or to the event. So what we have laid out are three options. Do not approve the application, and number two, approve the application according to the existing program guidelines, provided that the organizer gets the eligible liability insurance needed, which would be the day before, the day of, and the day after, in terms of liability insurance, so that the entire experience is insured. The third option would be to approve the application with the condition that 50% of the city's money be provided once the event organizer also realizes 50% of the projected revenue. Because there's much more money has to be raised in order to make sure that those numbers are met, his revenue projections are met. And then the remaining funding of the program would come into play after the event has concluded, hoping that they will have gotten 90% of what they were expecting in terms of projected revenue. So you have three options before you, and there are probably other questions regarding the permits and what he has to do in order to have a successful and permitted event. Also, at the same time, I think the 5,000K run or 5K run is also occurring on that same day. So there's some organizational coordination with both events happening. There's going to be a lot of people, in essence, in the area.
So do you have any ideas did you know about that?
The 5K run?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I've been working with them.
Yeah.
The run, the way we've organized between the two events, the run's path is going to go up what is that? 12th Street, right there past the Ice House. It's going to go up to Washington Street and take a right-hand turn. The run starts much earlier in the morning. So the run is going to be passing by us about 9:30 a.m. Our event does not start until 10 a.m. So there's a little bit of a buffer there. In addition to that, primary egress for our event is going to be coming more from 14th Street. So we're coming from the other direction, and we have people who are already going to be out walking around on the sidewalks to try to help with mitigating traffic and making sure that people aren't trying to drive in the wrong direction. And the run also has a couple of people that are going to be along the course as well to help with traffic control.
So did you address that in your application?
Yes, we already spoke, not in the application for the grant, that's with the application to the city.
Yes, that's what I was asking. Did you address this in the, because to me, even though you said it starts earlier, you're going to have your people coming in to tee up to get their spaces.
Right, and so the way the entrance for the event was the same as we did last year, and it's for similar reasons, to not impact Main Street and not impact Highway 99. So people are given specific instructions on how to enter the event with the show vehicles before the event starts. We keep that information a little more tightly held until the event, so we don't have people opportunistically driving around trying to guess. Then we bring them in a certain queue line way. We have people that then show them how to park in the parking lot. So that's all going to be coming more from the north end of the area, and so that won't impact the race.
Yeah, it might be a good idea to just submit some supplemental information for your packet. Would you like to address some of the deficiencies that staff has indicated?
So one of the big difficulties with this event is funding. It's a free event for the community, and the cornerstone of it being to not impact the local businesses makes finding fundraising difficult. Don't want to minimize those things and start just bringing in folks who, we've had opportunities for, food cart vendors and stuff to come in. And we really rely on the funding from the city to make this event happen. And without it, the event can't happen. I use my money to help support this because I believe in the community and the area. I know you guys have all seen other projects I've done around the town that I've self-funded. So, I'm supporting this event, and I need a partner in that.
So you are still looking for sponsors, though?
Absolutely, Mayor.
Rocky?
I think this is a staff question, but it may be a question to you too. Did you have a rental charge on the parking lot last year?
Yes.
Okay, and how was that figured out? You mentioned, it was based on what a normal charge is for the parking space for that day or something?
I don't know how they did it.
Okay.
I don't know how they did it, but that
Who did
would,
it?
I don't know how code enforcement did it.
Okay, so code,
There's a rate structure for using the parking lot that also includes impact. The parking spaces are not paid for on the weekends.
Right.
So we're paying a base rate when we're using it on Saturday. However, we have to set things up on Friday ahead of time. And so the parking spaces that we are going to impact, there's about 10 of them, there's a rate for those, and that's included in the fee that we paid last year. And so then we anticipate that fee being the same this
Similar,
year.
yeah.
And agreeable, there's going to be changes to the budget. Every budget changes as you go forward, especially this day and age where things are going up and you don't know until you get the invoice from the insurance company that it was $100 less or $100 more. Some of the aspects, then maybe we just have to pick and choose and say, we can't afford to buy some extra signs to be able to make our budget work. And that's to be expected with this event being so new and also changing as it goes along. A lot of that budget, unfortunately, isn't set in stone. It'd be nice to just photocopy what we did last year, but that's not practical for this. We're trying to meet the needs of the community and make changes based on what we saw last year for this year. But we're gonna have to work with the budget that we're given. So, if we're able to pick up a couple more sponsors, then maybe we could do some more marketing. But we're trying to cover our base costs, which are primarily safety-minded, getting our permits covered, and making sure the event checks the appropriate boxes to be a safe event first.
So really, the only reason I asked that question was because this goes again to some of my many points over the years about the way we charge for events when they're not consistent departments. They're not, for instance, way back when with the Pioneer Festival, we would actually pay for all the RV spots in order to put the carnival in the RV park, and that was through Parks Department, yet that was separate from the parks fees. And then we realized that actually having the carnival in the parking lot section, which we weren't charged for, was fine, and then that the RV park could be open for vendors, et cetera. When it comes to oddities like this parking lot, which as far as I can remember has never been used for an event, now is being used as an event, well, that's being charged by, code enforcement because it's under that from the old trolley days. So there are these oddities that don't necessarily fit that we have to always think about, because part of the reason I want to know that too is how is that equitable to different events that decide to do an event somewhere else in the city that might be under a different department and is being charged a certain thing or given something at a different rate than if someone charged the parking lot in a different department in the same city. Then you start having issues with, okay, well, how's that fair? That's why one of the reasons we haven't solved the processes of events, because they are so unique and they do cross over different departments and different things, so it's so complex. So that's the only reason I'm asking that question. Because even with the the Arts Festival, I was thinking we were just talking about concerts in the park and the availability to probably have parking across the street. Well, that's something that I'm sure the Arts Festival would be interested in, but that's another piece of city property that's under a different department that someone would tell her a different price for that. It's something we have to start honing in on and trying to figure out the logistics of all that, because I balance, okay, well, we're giving a grant when we could just say, hey, you don't have park fees. Right, but we've never gotten to that point because it is different departments and it's funded a certain way. So it's, do we put it in the budget or do we give out grants to compensate for that? But sometimes it feels weird to give grants when the grant is being used to pay the city back for something else. So those are all things I've always questioned, and I think someday we'll get to it, but it's a lot.
Well, and Commissioner, I think to your point, there's a lot of the things that we pay money for that are because we want to have a safe event.
Absolutely.
And for instance, the barriers to shut down the street appropriately.
Right.
And that's a resource that just to even get the help to get it.
Right.
It may not be a cost, but it's nice to have a single point of contact that you would be able to say, I'm putting on this event, who can help put together the organizations.
But the answer to the question, though, it has improved a great deal since. It has improved, and now his one point of contact has been Patrick Armstrong,
Right.
and so therefore Patrick has been coordinating all of that, and that's why I know what is going on.
Oh, and I'm not saying that it's not improved, it has. I just, and the truth is, no matter how much better we improve it, there's always a new event that raises new issues or new questions, because like I said, we've never really used that parking lot as an event space in the past, so that's a new thing. And so in the future, if there's an event taken, like I said, if we use that urban renewal property as a place for parking, well, that's a whole nother thing, and that would go through probably a different system. Maybe they go to the Urban Renewal Commission to ask, I don't know.
He said
So,
Patrick is coordinating all of that.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there's still issues.
I guess a question that I would have, and I think I might have asked this last year. So we have our parking lot, and we charge for the jurors get to park there, and other people have permits to park there. But on the weekends, there are no jurors, and there is no, well, maybe some people still have a permit to park there. So why would we be charging for that parking lot, other than making sure that we're not that we would have a liability waiver? I don't understand why we're charging for the parking lot when we're not producing revenue for it on the weekends.
case, we'd be happy to bring that back and have a discussion about, we don't make revenue in a park and we charge to use the park because you're taking a city facility that's a public asset.
Yeah, I
and
understand the park
utilize,
part.
that's why.
Yeah, I understand the parks, but I just didn't understand this particular parking lot.
I think we treat it the same way. It's a city
Yeah, okay.
asset that's being utilized for an event, whether that be profit or nonprofit.
Okay.
Just like we use our, we charge a fee for a right-of-way permit.
Sure.
I mean, we could certainly have the discussion about where we are and aren't going to charge, but it's good practice to have some fee associated
Right.
with the use of your public resource.
Okay.
And last year, correct me if I'm wrong, Cyrus, but I think last year, the event used the parking space or the space on 12th and Main, right next to, I think, the Kentucky Fried Chicken area, where you use the parking for that, and when agreement, so I don't see a request for that space. But
That's included in the permit.
that's included, so there, but we didn't charge for that.
No.
We haven't.
Well, from what I got on my end, I was given a fee, and that there was a calculation done that encompassed all of what I was asking for.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
But I assume not broken, sorry, my mic's on.
Yeah.
I assume not broken down and really rationale for what you're paying for what thing.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right, that's never been the case.
Yeah. Okay. So, Mr. Graham, would you go over the staff recommendation one more time?
Sure. So the staff recommendation is that you have three options before you, and that is not to approve the application at all. Let me get my applications. Too many pieces of paper.
Mayor, Commission, I have an update as far as the parking lot. If you're Ryan Kersey, Code Enforcement Manager, right, we are not charging for Saturday. We're only charging for Friday spaces used, which the public would pay for.
Okay, perfect. Great. That makes sense.
Hold on. I just read them. Hold on.
We have lots of pieces of paper, believe me. I've got mine kind of higgledy-piggledy here, too.
Number one was not to approve the application. Oh, yeah. And then the second recommendation was to simply approve the event based on the guidelines, but still the necessary insurance coverage has to be obtained, and also the necessary permits have to be obtained. The third,
As well as using the logo.
as well as using the
And the
logo and the
logo,
tagline.
right.
So that's the second. The third option is, it was actually a little bit more complicated in the sense that, in that we recognize that he has to still raise sponsorship money or other donations or other inputs from other people or entities, that we provide only 50% of the grant amount, and until he has been able to also raise 50% of his revenue. And then he gets the other half after he has raised a total of 90%, and he would get that after the event is over.
Are there any questions about that recommendation? Okay, what's the commission's proposal for this application?
So I have a quick question, if I could.
Oh,
Thank you.
absolutely.
So I recognize there's a deficit in the funding that you're still looking to close. Pending your application is approved, regardless of whether or not you're able to secure that other funding, would the event still happen?
Yes, the event would still happen if we're not able to close the gap, but only if we're able to get the support from the city that we're asking for.
Okay, so with the support of the city and with no additional funding, the event would still be able to proceed, is that correct?
Because that would be my contribution to it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking at option number 3, and I guess I don't have a problem with the first half of that requiring 50% of the projected revenue before he gets 50%, but the rest of it, I don't think we need to condition the other 50% because if the event happens and he doesn't get the 90%, Cyrus's LLC is the one that's taking it on the chin, not us. So I don't see why the requirement that he has to raise 90% because our commitment is for $12,000. Whatever he doesn't raise is going to come out of his organization, his company's pocket. Excuse me.
And we needed to hear Cyrus on the record say that he will cover the gap. Because if he's not able to cover the gap, then someone's not going to get paid. And you can't be associated with a program that doesn't pay people. So that's why this option is offered in a very careful way to make sure that good money doesn't chase bad.
So again, to your point, Mr. Graham, if funding is insufficient, the person not getting paid effectively is you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. My take on this is we need free events. We need places for families to go. We need events that are supporting our local businesses. I love the fact that you don't want to hurt the businesses that are already there. I don't know why we would put conditions on it necessarily. If you're saying that you would close the gap, if this can happen just with our funding, you know, that's where I'm at.
So you liked the first part of the suggestion, so you want to make a motion to that effect?
No. If I was going to make a motion, I would actually make option number 2 and not do the 50%.
Okay.
Do the full amount.
Okay, then you make the motion.
Okay. I will move to approve the $12,000 grant to the Oregon City Car Show, utilizing option number 2 as laid out in the staff report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Mitchell,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Marl,
Aye.
Mayor McGriff.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right. Okay, we don't have any further business for the special meeting on the grant, so I will adjourn the meeting until 7 o'clock.